Hello and welcome to Hearing Your Future, the Coding Your Future podcast. My name is Duncan, I'm your host, and I'm on a mission to help you design, build, test and code your future in computing. In this podcast, we'll talk to current and former students of computer science to find out more about their journey from student to professional. What's their story? How are they coding their future? What obstacles have they faced and how did they overcome them? Finally, we ask our guests what advice they'd offer their former selves and fellow students and where are they headed next. My guest today is Sambbhav Khare. He graduated with a Master of Engineering degree in Computer Science with industrial experience in 2025 when this episode was recorded. During his degree, he did a year-long placement at Atmos International in Manchester and served as a committee member for numerous student societies, including Google developer groups on campus. Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Sambbhav and I'm originally from India. I'm an international student here. And fun fact, I'm from Manchester of India. So,
all right, okay.
A city called Kanpur.
Right.
It's called Manchester of India because it's also the industrial hub, etc. And I never imagined coming here to Manchester, but like apparently I came from Manchester of India to Manchester of UK.
Manchester of UK.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming on the show today. So I wanted to talk to you about, so the first thing is, what's your story? So can you tell us a little bit about, let's go back to the beginning. So you're graduating in
Masters of Engineering Computer Science.
Computer Science.
Yeah.
And I'd like to go back to the beginning of like, where did you develop that interest in computing and what was it that made you think this is something I want to study at university?
I would say my father, he was quite interested in maths, etc. And he was also in banking. Like he was when he retired, he was DGM of Bank of Baroda in India. So like my interest was towards maths, and in my GCSE, I selected maths and like GCSE equivalent, I selected maths and computer science, and also I was studying physics, chemistry. But what I saw was like chemistry till GCSE I really liked, and physics also, and I thought chemistry and maths, that would be my subject which I will study. But as soon as I started the A levels, the 2 years, in that I found that chemistry I can't learn, because till now it was simple, easy, but then comes the exception and I'm like, okay, no, I will not. I can't do that much. And physics I liked, but I always get good marks in it, but I didn't have much interest in that.
Right.
So in the end it was maths and computer science, so I chose that. And in GCSE also I got good marks, in A levels also I got full marks, so I was like, okay, this could be the thing which I should follow. And I completed my A level equivalents in 2020, but I joined in 2021.
Did you miss COVID? You just missed COVID, or did you finish?
So what happened was, in India there's entrance exam for engineering colleges, JEE mains, for Indian Institute of Technology. There are 14 lakh people apply, but only 10 or 12,000.
Really super competitive.
Yes, and only after 99% you get selected. If you are, there are caste systems as well. So general category like us, they get only after 99% plus you have.
Right.
So, and then COVID hit and it got postponed like for 6 months, and then I lost track. I was like, okay, so then I joined another one, which through my marks, my A level marks, I got into a college called Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. It was near New Delhi. My cousin studied from there, so I thought, okay, I can join there and he could guide me through it. And so I joined that. I studied there. In India, what happens is, first year is completely, they teach everything. So they teach us architecture, chemistry, physics, biology, everything.
Right.
So like they make your basics completely in all the engineering fields. So, and computer, they didn't touch it. Like I remember in my second semester, the computer science, which although my degree was computer science there as well, but they just touch what is CPU and C programming a little bit, that only. But when I came here, then my cousin only who studied there, he's currently in Susquehanna in Ireland. So he told me that there are opportunities outside as well. So you should apply, and the IIT and etc. These are not that good, but here you will get more exposure. So then I started applying outside in UK, since I had relatives in London, etc. So I applied here so that I have someone.
Right.
And this
So your experience of studying at university in India made you think, I guess you finished the year and thought...
It's much more theoretical than practical.
Right.
Like the things which I did in first year here, that was being taught to them in third year.
Right.
And it's a 4-year program there.
Right.
The degree we get is BTech, Bachelor of Technology.
Yeah.
So first year is just basic everything, and
Yeah.
then they go into specialization of computer science, etc. So 1 year it's extra. So I did finish that year, but by the time I got the offer, and since I had the my marks, etc., so they gave me an unconditional offer.
Right.
Although I applied to other places, but as soon as I got Manchester, I was like, okay, done. Because London was really expensive, and
Yeah. Okay,
So,
good.
yeah.
So let's your first year here. How did you find? I mean, that must have been a big step, adapting to. I mean, you speak the language already, but there's the cultural differences that you have to try and navigate as you arrived here. How did you get on with that?
One major thing was my English is okay. In my school, I could say my English was the worst. I didn't never plan to go out, but I was like, okay, I will be in India and everything. But now it's much more better than before. But I also, even though I got 80 marks in English, and so that was another thing. Like when I came here, I got to speak much more English than before. Although I had a lot of Indian friends, so at home, etc., I was speaking Hindi a lot. But that was one thing that I was able to speak. And in school, I was a bit shy, and I don't know, I was introvert. I feel I was, because I didn't take part in anything or extracurricular. I just study and talk with 2-3 of my friends, and nothing else. But when I came here, I was like, okay, I need to get out, and I start going to. I remember my first social which I went was of Hackchester, previously called Crackchester, and there I got to talk with all the people, because I wanted something of cybersecurity to get to know, and then Unisys and everything. So slowly, in first year, I had to learn everything. In India, we don't have such great system like transport, clicking the button and then moving. People usually go, and sometimes cows, etc. there. So that as well. But yeah, I really like the nature of people here. India also, it's really nice, but the rule following, that's much more better here in terms of traffic. So that I had to learn, and also there's a yellow red light,
The traffic
light, and I didn't know what it was, but so my cousin brother and sister-in-law who lives in London, they taught me everything while I was in quarantine there.
Right.
And everything.
Oh, so you arrived in the tail end of. No, hang on. So what year did you start? It's 4 years ago, isn't it?
September 2021.
21. So we're in.
It was red something.
Right.
So there was a 14-day quarantine.
Right.
So I quarantined at my cousin's place.
Right.
And yeah.
And then so a lot of that first year must have been online.
I didn't choose to online. I was like, I'm paying international fees. I'm coming here and studying.
Right. So you were here, but
okay. I came here. I was studying in person only.
Yeah.
Although this was the first. I never traveled alone. I always traveled with my parents. This was the first trip alone. I never traveled city to city also alone, and I traveled a whole country.
From London to Manchester initially, I suppose, and then
no, also from Delhi to
Delhi
to London, and then here and everything. So it was
a big adventure. Big adventure.
and a really big step. Like my parents were really nervous about it because I was going alone and they couldn't accompany me because of the COVID situation.
Right. Yeah.
So, but it was like
good.
fulfilling. Yeah.
So you adjusted to being here in your first year and learned lots of stuff in your first year, Python and a bit of that kind of stuff. At the end of your first year, were you looking for jobs at that point, or?
The mistake I did was I wasn't looking for jobs at the end of first year, although I participated in the hackathon.
Which is a good thing to do.
Yeah,
anyway,
but I didn't
right?
submit in that because I didn't know anything. And I was just learning and watching YouTube. In the end, the thing was I was so homesick, missing home, that I wanted to go back because only 2-3 months are there.
Yeah.
So, but now I think like I should have done an internship at that time. That could have benefited me a lot.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, you come all the way from India, you arrive here, and then I guess in the summer the first thing you want to do is go back home.
Yes.
So that's fair enough. So you come back into second year, and then you were applying for placements at the beginning of the second year, or?
Yes.
So what made you shift from not being interested in working to suddenly I'm going to apply for placements?
So I remember like towards the end of first year, one thing like I got to know about the Insight Weeks from my past leaders, Luke, Will, and Jeremy. So they guided me like to apply to those, and I applied to that, and I did the two like Nomura and Amazon Insight Weeks. It was just CV, and CV I already have made, and because we had
So you did the Insight Weeks in your second year, Easter of your second year, is that right? Or was it?
It was towards the end of first year, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, because I remember it was towards the end of first year. So basically, I remember.
You've done the Insight Weeks, but you didn't do a summer internship, right? So you did it was a good thing to do anyway, right? It's like, I guess sometimes there's an offer of a summer internship at the end of it, isn't there?
Yes. So another thing came after that. I think one thing I remember, either on the first year's end or second year's end, I did these Insight Weeks, and then I got to know that in Amazon, like they send us the applications before they release it publicly, so we get the link first, and they don't open it.
Right.
So that's the benefit, and it also has a 2 mentorship session program. Like first you have 2-3 days where they tell about everything, and then in a month you can have 2 sessions with Amazon.
Right.
They could be a personal mentor. You can ask them to interview you or check your CV, or like maybe discuss some other topics in depth, etc. And in Nomura it was just like a meet and greet kind of thing. They called us in person in London. But in Nomura they offered like to do either a placement year or a graduate load. Like it was for students who could do industrial experience or that.
Yeah.
And another mistake which I made was I couldn't explain my parents what's an industrial year. Right. So they were like,
well, you're saying it doesn't exist, or it's not very common in Indian universities?
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
The thing is, internships are quite common, but like
doing
a whole
Google
year
has a massive office in Bengaluru, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And they do internships there, so it's a thing.
Yes, of course. The thing is, what my parents, like when I was explaining, I told them as an industrial experience. What they understood was like you want to work for a year and then study.
Right.
But I wanted to explain them that it's a year-long internship, and then you get to continue that, and you get a whole year.
Right.
So I couldn't since it was second year, I couldn't explain them exactly, and plus these were Indian parents, so I can't argue with them that much. So I was like, okay, leave it, and because I had to change my degree also for that, and it would become 5-year program or make it 3+ months.
So you did at the end of your second year, you did a summer internship with. Well, you did 2, didn't you? I think. And you did one with.
No, basically, I think I in second year towards the end, I did these Insight Weeks. I got I didn't got any opportunity there, and I couldn't explain Nomura. In third year, towards the end, I did 2 internships.
Right.
But in this like in the third year, like from November to May, I did Imago.
Right.
student software company. Like I did part-time.
So tell
there.
us, for people who don't know, what the student software company is.
Okay, so it's under Department of Computer Science, run by Suzanne, and it's a company for students who are studying in University of Manchester. They bring projects to students, and they hire students on project by project basis on hourly wage. And the best thing is, like, they allow us time for like our exams, coursework, and we don't have to work 20 hours a week, which is allowed in a visa, but you can work for 8, 10, 11 hours, and 1 hour
part-time.
Yes.
During term time in this case.
Yes. Yeah.
Although
And
they do have full time as well, don't they?
Yeah. They have full time during summer, and I think winter vacation as well. Sometimes.
I'm trying to get Suzanne to have a placement here at Imago. We're working on it. We're not there yet. So at the moment it's just part-time and summer internships, but maybe in the future we'll have placements.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really good experience, and one thing I really liked was like agile software development. That was really taught. Like we did user story, and then made the feature, and we were using a Trello board and everything. That was really good there, and I really like that. And I have talked a lot about that in my interviews to impress them about agile.
And it's good to have examples, right? Because the one thing that would differentiate you from people on your course, some of whom you're competing with when you're applying for jobs, is anything that you've done that they haven't.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you've done some agile software engineering, and you can talk about examples of, well, when I was doing this, I used this methodology, and this was the result.
And that's why, like, currently in my CV, I've added more of hackathon projects than university projects, because.
But they're both good, right? I mean, they're kind of.
The thing is, all 500 students in our batch would be doing those projects, so they will have the same content.
Well, I see lots of student CVs that don't have any hackathons on.
Yes.
So that doesn't. I mean, it's not a requirement.
True.
But if you're looking at two people and one person's got a hackathon and a CV and the other person hasn't, and everything else is the same.
Yes.
The hackathon person's probably more interesting. Because it shows that you've got an interest in just kind of learning, and you're just like building stuff for fun, right?
Yeah. And so
where were we? You've done. So this was Imago. So can you? Who was the client that you were working for Imago?
I was working for Flag Me project.
Right. Flag Me.
Flag Me. So basically, we were working on a open source hospital run environment where we were making like a Flag Me logo to pop up in NHS kind of softwares where.
We're talking like a mobile app or a desktop app, or
it's in both ways.
Right.
I think because it was NHS software, so it would be mostly in desktop. But like their website was both mobile and laptop. In that, basically what happens is, if a person with disability comes to a chemist and like they put in their details, etc., or they either as soon as they put the detail, they get a pop-up that this person has this disability, and you could help them in this way. It also gives a link in the website which tells all the strategies in which way you can help them be more comfortable. For instance, like if someone has some hearing problem, what they can do is, instead of like standing not stand in front of them so that they can listen to them, or if someone has eye problems, so stand exactly in front of them so that they can focus on us and not any obstacle. Or if they have hearing problem, maybe take them to a small room if you have office or something like that, and talk there and slowly everything. So that kind of thing. So when I was working, I was working on the like the vision impairment and hearing impairment was in work, and I think in this summer Sambbhav was working on improving it further. And I was working with Will and Lucy on that part-time project, and also Abhijit or someone, I don't remember.
So I think they tend to have kind of, should we say, sort of socially responsible kind of computing. So there's a lot of places you can go and work where it's about money, and that's nothing wrong with that. But these tend to have a kind of social dimension to them, don't they? Where it's like trying to make the world a better place.
True.
If we can.
Yeah.
With computing.
Yeah, and also like what I really liked this because like I was in Google Developer Student Club, so I wanted like in there it was solution challenge is done for community, basically to improve the community.
Right.
Although this year they have just made it to Asia because the timeline clashed with our exams, etc. in UK. So so like I wanted to do stuff for community, and that really came in that scenario. And also interesting thing for Imago, I think I applied each year in all the roles. Then the thing was I only had like I had university experience, of course, but I had more of website development, web development experiences because I did MathSocs website and then Unicius website, etc. So like I had more on website and other university stuff everyone does. So there wasn't a role where I had many skill sets. So Suzanne said, when it will come, if you are applying for it, we will look into it. So I kept applying for 3 years. Then I got the Imago.
Okay.
And but the thing was, in the last, like I think I applied 3-4 times, and in the last one she didn't took an interview because she already knew I've gone to multiple times for interview.
Okay. So that's showing remarkable resilience in keeping going. And one thing I've noticed about you is that you don't give up easily and that you keep going. And I think it is very difficult finding a job. And one of the most important things you can do is just keep doing it. Keep
applying. I would have applied like 500 plus places now, I think. So it would be.
But you've got results to show that because you've done. Yes. Imago. What other internships have you done along the way?
So I did part-time Imago. Then I did a summer intern at university under Christos
Kotsalidis.
Kotsalidis.
Working on it was a Tornado VM.
Yeah. So it was an open source Tornado VM. We had to create a web like GUI for their Tornado VM only because
Tornado is a virtual machine, presumably.
Yes.
I don't know too much about it. What does it do? Who's it for?
So
it's open source.
Yes, it's open source. But I was working in one of the algorithms, some K algorithm. In that, what happens is it was used to like if you capture a video, it creates a 3D model of it.
Right.
And so I had to it works on terminal, etc. But the GUI, it was in it was outdated, so Java doesn't support that anymore.
Right.
So I had to work on that. So I had to use Java FX to work on that, and I built the function like the GUI of it, but the backend because few of the vulnerabilities we weren't able to finish that.
Right.
But
good experience.
Yes, it was a really good experience, and I got and also like I got to show something open source. So that really, I really liked.
That's the good thing about doing open source stuff is that you can put it out there. So often when you're working on software, it's hidden behind some company firewall or whatever, and that's to be expected. But the nice thing about open source is it's a portfolio. You can say, look, I did this. And even if it's just you fixed one bug, just fixing one bug might sound trivial, but that's seriously impressive to an employer when they can go and look at it and they can look at the actual evidence and say, okay, I can see that this is, this is the pull request and all the rest of it. So that's good. So you did Imago, you've done Tornado VM, and was there anyone else you worked?
Atmos International.
Atmos. So can you tell us who Atmos International
are? So they are a pipeline solution company. So we're
not talking about computer pipelines. We're talking about actual
pipeline.
So with oil and gas, is it? Or?
Yes, it's everything like water, oil, and gas.
Right.
So what they do is they create hardware and software to create leak detection and also batch processing. So what happens is like in the same pipeline at some point there might be like petrol or sometime water might be going. So what they do is because everything pressure is different and everything, so
You
they
can tell.
they created a system
You've
and
got
like
sensors in the pipes, I
Yeah.
guess, and you've got some system for monitoring.
yes, yeah. So whole system, I think it's called HMI, is a human machine interface. So
Right.
that's the name of the thing, and I was working on that. So currently it's a Windows desktop application.
Mhm.
They mostly have customers in US.
Mhm.
Also, the CEO is who finished PhD from here.
Oh, right, okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. Right,
yeah.
right.
So
In what, in chemical engineering or something, was he? Or I guess you're not a computer scientist. from what
no,
you're
no,
saying.
no. I mean, no.
No,
I think what she did was she worked on these only, like the pipeline solutions.
Right.
I remember because another thing, like since I was working in office and she was here only, and every time in lunch she used to come and my timing also matched with her, so we used to talk.
Right.
And she was telling she worked at Shell after the finishing PhD,
Right.
and then
Set up her own company.
yeah, and then she they wanted her PhD research to make the project,
Right.
but then what she did was she left Shell and created her own company and started selling to them. So like that it worked.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So I learned something about Atmos. So
Yeah.
that was Atmos. You were there. This was summer intern.
Yes, yeah.
Which was last summer.
Yes,
2 summers ago.
no, last
Right,
summer,
okay,
yeah.
so- and there have been other students who've done work there as well. haven't they?
Yes,
You know, you guess you've probably worked with
yeah,
some of them.
Madhvan, Ali Lakho, who was treasurer of UniCS, and Na is currently working
Yeah.
as an industrial student.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say in Atmos, I really liked, and plus, since I was going in person every day, I got to talk with them, and I saw like every employee there, they never, like, people have been working for 10, 15 years there. And that's why, like, they were really impressed by my work, but they said if someone retires or quits, then only we will have space to add in. And and like in September, Ali also got in because when I was finishing, a person was retiring that time.
Right.
So that's how. So I was like, okay, if in future it opens, I would definitely like consider them, and it was a really nice experience.
Oh, okay, good. So that was Atmos. So that puts you into third year. Well, actually, are we talking third year? Are we talking final year of Atmos
Final
or
year.
third year? Right. So before we get to that, so we want to talk about your third year project. So
Yes.
this is the project you did not this year but last year. So
Yes.
can you tell us about what you did?
Okay. So
And who was your supervisor? Right? It was
Danny.
Danny.
Danny Dresner.
Oh, right. Okay. So
Yeah.
was that the VR one?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what I did was, my first choice was first choice was VR. Then second choice was your teaching one, and then third I don't remember, but and I remember I wanted to do VR a lot. I got allocated your project, I remember, and I was like, yes, I would love to do that, but then there was that hackers hub happening, and we invited Danny.
Right. Yeah.
And as a speaker,
Because it was his
yes,
expertise is in
yes,
cybersecurity.
yes.
Isn't it?
So I was so I just saw him and I was like, okay, let me ask if something could happen. I just talked with him and I said, I'm really interested in doing that project, and I would really appreciate if you could like, if there's some way I could get assigned. And although in that project only one person was allowed to choose that one,
Right.
but then I got then he assigned me, he asked, and everything happened. I was like, okay. So two people were doing another I don't remember the other person's name, but two people were doing the
You
VR.
had a VR headset, which was
Yes.
I can't remember what hardware. Well, I remember testing it because it made me
Yes.
feel dizzy,
Yeah.
but I can't remember what the hardware was. What's the hardware you
So,
were using?
So basically, from university's hardware library, I got Oculus.
Oculus Rift,
two,
was it a 1 or 2?
It was 2. It was not the newest one, Pro. Because I remember talking with the professor there in hardware library. He asked me what kind of you want. I was like, if I will ask the most expensive one, that would be bad. So I was like, okay, let's. I just said any Oculus would be fine, but yeah, if it could be the newer version, that would benefit me. But at that time, one of my junior was just using it and playing with it, and I knew who he was, but I didn't tell. But I was like, I really need the project. by that time I was just doing research, so I was like, okay. So he said, like the date to return the VR is on this day, and after that you can take it. So I kept, January came, then February came. I was like, now I really need to make the like I need to code and everything, and MacBook makes it really difficult to work with Unity. Windows is better for Unity because it connects really well and everything,
Right.
but so, and plus my MacBook was
So you're using Unity to develop the VR
yes, yeah.
and the things, right?
And I got, then they when he might have extended it, the junior, so then they ordered a new one for me, and I got the new, fully, like I got to unbox it. I was really happy with that. Like it was really nice. And then so my project was basically to create a virtual training experience for industry employees, is because they have been bored by doing normal cybersecurity questionnaire or watching videos, so they want something much more attractive. And so the industry, I was working, like it was an industry operated project as well. So I was working with Amy. She is the CEO of Cyber Escape Room company.
Right.
Previously it was called something else, but now they have changed it. So what I thought, like she called us to her office in Dish MCR, and like we talked, and we also played their escape room. It was a board game, like to do the training.
Right.
So now we have to create our own. So what I did was, then I thought, okay, let's create an escape room with the puzzles inside that. Then I researched that more than 10 minutes of VR could harm the eyes, and it's really bad for health. So then we decided to create only 10 minutes of the game, and
Right.
I researched about like what could be beneficial and what's much more interactive. Another thing was, since it's will be used in industry, so they might like in offices there might not be space, there would be chairs and everything. So I had to add teleport feature and turn by cameras, like you can
Right.
sit and play everything, you don't have to move around, although if you move it's better.
And I guess as a surprising thing about VR is often takes quite a lot of time to develop things, doesn't it? It's very time
Yes.
consuming.
Yeah.
Because it's not like developing
Yeah.
an application in 2 dimensions. You've got an
Yeah.
extra dimension to worry about that you don't
I had
have.
to add physics. Like I had to add, like what happened was sometimes I had to learn. Nowadays there's a lot of YouTube channels which teach you each and everything.
Right.
So I had to add, like let's say you have a ball, so it will go through the table. If you don't add physics to it, like
Right.
detection and like the weight and everything, you have to add. And many times what was happening was, I was picking up the ball or the wand, it was going through the floor and everything and going down. And I was like, what's happening? And then I got to understand, oh, I had to add physics to it, so that it should collide with it and stop there.
Right.
And
you
everything.
can detect that collision has taken place,
Yes.
and then you can do something that looks
Yes.
realistic
Yeah.
as a collision.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that sounds like quite an interesting third-year project. The other thing that I didn't talk about, but is to talk about what were the main things that you got out of all of the internships you've done, and was there anything that was particularly enjoyable? I think you mentioned some of those things already, but if there's anything that we haven't already talked about.
Okay, so one thing was like I got to work in a industry place where I was learning firstly stand-up meetings, mostly the software engineering and agile practice. And another thing was, because I was going in person, I was able to communicate with the CEO. Like I would never have talked with a CEO of a company like randomly if I'm interning at Amazon or something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in mid-sized companies, the benefit is like you get to interact with them, and also like the manager, he was like a mentor to me. He kept he kept showing mistakes in his code he wrote 5 years back, and how
He's fixing 5 years.
yes, and how I should do in future, and how he should have done the building pattern, etc.
Yeah, I think it's an important thing. So I think one of the important differences between the workplace
Yeah.
and student life, I don't know if you identify this, is that we tend to reward perfection
Yes.
in academia. Like
Yeah.
we're looking for the perfect solution,
Yes.
and these are the criteria you have to meet. But in industry, I mean, it's good if you can be perfect, but it's more often about efficiency.
Yeah.
And that often means correcting either your own mistakes or somebody else's mistakes, and sort of just accepting the fact that you will make mistakes.
True.
Rather than, it's kind of culturally it's quite different. It's quite a subtle shift, I think, but it's quite a big difference in how you approach it.
Another thing was in internship at Atmos, the code base was much larger than like
even because you did Stendhal was 10,000 lines of code, which is
it's big,
but I'm bigger than anything else you've done. But then Atmos was a whole another orders of magnitude better.
It's it's bigger. A lot of, and another thing was they have created many libraries for them, like many classes which you can reuse, so that you can't just learn or search for it, but that you need to ask like your fellow colleagues who are much more senior and have experienced that, and then they tell.
Is it in Java, this application?
Oh, it was C#. And because my VR game, it was Unity, and Unity uses C#. So I got experience in C#, and that helped me. But I didn't knew because in C#, I only have to write few scripts in VR. But for Atmos, I prepared before the interview, the whole C#, ASP.NET, and then I interviewed for them. And it was different from the data structures and algorithm thing, which usually happens. But they wanted me to create a supermarket Lidl etc. type checkout system as a assignment, right? Take home assignment.
Was that under time, or were you given a day to go away and do it?
It was as soon as we can do. But I did it in 1 or 2, 3 days.
So kind of more like sometimes you see these things called system design questions, where it's rather than solve a particular problem, or you use a particular data structure to solve a problem, you'll be well, here's a system to do this, and you're talking architecture rather than. And
I use because we learned MVC in Stendhal, and that only applied in that, and in that way I created controllers and everything. So what I did was I told them that I took help from ChatGPT, because at that time ChatGPT was there. But I explained them my reasoning why I was doing that, and then I also told them that what I know, and on the spot they asked us to make lots of changes, and that I was able to do.
And I guess you knew what ChatGPT was doing for you.
Yes.
So you were kind of using it to write the sort of boring boilerplate code. Well, my experience of ChatGPT and Copilot is they're good at, if you tell them exactly what to do, they're quite good at doing it, but they can't really do architecture. Or unless you specifically ask for it. I guess maybe they can. I'm not really experimented with that, but you give the architecture because that's what you're good at as a human being, and then the boring, how do you fill in the gaps stuff, you can get a machine to do some of that for you now.
So what I did was I told him that that I want to write in MVC style, and these are the things, and I want different things, and I also want. What I did was I also asked ChatGPT what questions they can ask on this solution, and what extension could be made, how could this be improved. And if you want to add offers etc. to it, there was buy 2 get 1 free and those kind of things in supermarket checkout. So how could I add those? So I already understood those things, and comments were from ChatGPT, because I think autocomplete is there in now everywhere, so comments are from that, and that way I got to interview, and there I also told my knowledge about software engineering from Imago, and I think I was doing agile software pipeline by then. It was in third.
What's their policy on ChatGPT within the organization? So different companies have different policies on this, because there are kind of security issues and IP issues around.
They use it quite often, especially for tests. I remember I had the subscription of GitHub Copilot in Atmos in my computer, and they asked me to use that freely, but also my manager taught me how to use it for tests, because
on writing tests is not, well, it depends kind of tests you're writing? Sometimes it can be quite boring.
Yeah, sometimes some edge cases of some if else or something is missing or something like that. So you can get like test stub kind of thing where you have the classes and you have logic, like these 2-3 things you can do.
Right.
And he also told me how to use it to make builder pattern in tests. So like those things we were mostly using for tests.
This was it Matthew?
No,
No,
it was Liam.
Liam. Can you remember his surname?
Calgar.
I think I might have met him. Gallagher.
Yeah, he was in the hackathon on the in the Great Unihack. He came on the stall.
No,
Calgar, yes.
So okay, good. So we've talked about internships. We're running out of time a little bit, but I would like to talk about the next thing is. You are the Vice Chancellor, so I want you to imagine that you've been appointed Vice Chancellor of the university where you've been studying for the last 4 years, and it's your job now to improve the quality of teaching and learning at the university. So what would you do that would help students, all the however many thousands of students there are at the university, 40,000, get better teaching?
Okay, so first thing I would say is like in terms of TAs, I would assign much more course specific or domain specific TAs. Like computer science subjects could get more computer science specific TAs, which have some or little bit knowledge about the background and not from different other subject material areas. And another thing I would like to do is when in university, in some years, like in my fourth year, in my last year, what happened was few subjects, for instance, auto reasoning and verification, and some other also, like I remember computer vision, my friends were doing. They had everything in one day. So I remember my my doubt session was from 9 to 10, and then 10 to 12 was example session or something like in that sort. Then it was a lab. So from 9 to 5 I was a whole day there. So
immersing yourself in that subject for a whole day.
I was sitting at one place for a whole day, and it was really tiring, and only we got 1 hour break for lunch. So it was like a school for me, and it was so tiring. And
so you'd rather had a break, sort of mix it up a bit?
Yes, like 2-3 things could happen. Like what they can do is like let's have one lecture or something from 9 to 10 or 11, 1 or 2 hour, and then maybe after like have one class at least, one class only. But I understand like there are lots of subjects, lots of schedules, so there might be some difficulty. But like those were tiring, and my whole week was free. Only 1 week, I think, of biology I had to come for, digital biology, and rest was this 1 day of Friday. And that Friday, I was really tired. I couldn't do anything. I was like, okay, I will go and sleep.
So I don't know. It could be that could be down to timetabling. It might be that the course leader might have actually requested to have it all. Sometimes it's convenient to have it all in one day, but I can see that there are downsides to that as well. Okay. Anything else you'd do to improve the quality of the teaching and learning at university?
Another thing, I mean, it's not overall to the industry, but to the computer science department. I would say currently data structures and algorithm, it's a whole 1 semester topic which is being taught, but they're teaching us theoretically, and we get to understand data structures and algorithm, but the lead code which is usually asked, that practice is not that much given to us. And like I remember, even after doing data structure and algorithm, I knew the basics that I also studied before coming to university and during the university as well. And that I learned, but practicing it, that wasn't much a thing. So maybe in that course only, maybe have like once a week they just give us a practice questions or something. I know students can do it on their own, but
it's good because to have a pointer to say this theory you've been learning here, here's how it might be tested in practice by coding. I mean, it's difficult because we don't know sometimes it's difficult to know which coding tests people are using, and there are some people who say that coding tests are a waste of time, and you shouldn't do them. So it's kind of there's conflicting information out there on how to do things.
And big tech always take data structures and algorithm. Although I have talked with my friends and everyone, no one is using data structures and algorithm apart from, I think, hedge funds, etc., because they need fast,
or at least knowing, having memorized an algorithm or knowing a data structure is. In a work context, depending on the kind of company you're working for, it's not always something you're going to have to do. Even at companies that ask you to do that, it's just a way of selecting people.
My school friends back in India, they work in Goldman Sachs, etc. They are interviewing students. They don't know the answer. They just open it on their side, and then they are doing it because they learned it and they did it in university. In India, they quite focus a lot on DSA, so. Because there are a lot of competition, so you have to be perfect. And now when the visa situation and everything is changing, so they are taking the best of best now here. And DSA is really necessary, and that's where I'm weak, and I'm thinking to work on it over summer.
Actually, that was one thing we didn't talk about is talked about some of the struggles you had in finding work. So could you talk about what the main obstacles have been for you finding internships? You mentioned of the order of 500 applications. That's a lot of applications, and some of them have been successful. But what sort of things have you had to overcome?
Okay, so for different size company, there were different things you need to do. So for big companies, as I mentioned, data structures is the necessity. And also, you should have projects as well, whatever job description there, you should have those technologies in your CV. Plus you should have data structures, there first is a hacker rank test, and then there is a coding interview, and then a behavioral interview. That usually happens in most big companies. In mid-sized companies, what they do is they won't have, if they're hiring for internships, etc., they won't have time to teach you a new language. So for instance, in Atmos, they wanted us to have C# knowledge and then only apply. So that's why I studied beforehand and then applied, and then I got selected. And they wanted to understand it everything, and it's not like you just using ChatGPT or something blindly.
Okay.
And in small startup, also I forgot to mention, after my internship in Atmos, from September till February this year, I was working at a startup called Apoha. So in these places, what happens is you need to connect with the people, CEOs or CTOs, etc. And I think what they offered first was to work like a unpaid intern. But when I got internships, etc., and they saw I have a skill set and everything, they offered me to pay more than my internship and on an hourly basis on a part-time work. So I started doing that. And so what I will say is, for startups, the way is to contact, what I did was I searched top 20-30 tech startups or something like that, and then finding an email or something
speculative.
Yes.
Kind of, it wasn't a job advertised, you just approached them and say, because I guess a lot of the time those smaller companies, they've obviously limited resources. They can't even have a marketing department or a HR department. So what was it? What was the name of the site? Apoha.
APOHA. Yeah. APOHA.
And they do what sort of work?
So basically, what they are doing is they are creating a hardware to detect proteins, etc., in different things. And so basically, the CEO and co-founder, they did a PhD research in Oxford, and they had some patented chemicals, etc., which could detect these things, and they can identify what components a thing is made of. They've created a hardware. It's big, and they are now compressing it. There are only 20 people in the team, and so software team was only the head of software. He's working from US. He previously worked in Apple, and he left it and he was working here. and there's another one person working part time, him and I was working, so that was much more senior, but I was like just learning, and they helped me. They were open to like whatever I want to explore. This way I could also learn and they could also benefit from it.
Right.
So I worked on their experiment summary page,
Right.
building up on my TypeScript and React knowledge,
Right.
and also creating few APIs.
Right.
And I would say, there's different ways for different companies. Startups, you need to contact them. They usually don't have an opening, but if you talk through them, if you watch, also one thing I did was, whenever I go to career fair, what I do is I always take my CV with me and just ask
Ready
them.
to hand out.
Yeah, not
Or ask for feedback.
yeah,
Right.
ask for feedback. That's my go-to like conversation starter. Hi, I am Sambbhav Khare, and I really liked your company, etc. And I was wondering if there's any opening, and if you have time, could you look at my CV or give me some pointers which you would like to have.
It is quite a good conversation starter,
Yes.
because sometimes it's a bit difficult to know what to say if you don't try to get to know the company a bit, but that's quite a good conversation starter. And I think a lot of people that come to these kinds of things tend to be, you know, they want to meet people. That's probably why they're doing the job, because they enjoy meeting people. But okay, good. Right, so we should move on.
Yes.
The last bits are one tune, one podcast, one book, one film. So are there any things that you'd like our listeners, mostly other students like yourself, to recommend? So let's start with one tune. So one tune or playlist that you'd recommend.
I would
tell
say
us why it's important to you.
While coding, I like to listen to a coding playlist in Spotify. It's a it's
If
public.
I search coding playlist
Yes, it
on
will come.
Spotify, it'll come up first hit. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And it's kind of what sort of music is it? A mixture of
It's a jazz and tunes, basically background tunes, and not any words, so
Right.
that I don't start singing,
Yeah.
but I can but I can listen to some music. It also helps, like if some noise is there, if roommate, etc. So you can listen to this background music.
Yeah.
And with the speed of the music, you'd sometimes tend to start working fast as well.
Right.
So that's really like it makes me more efficient in
Okay,
my
I'll have
work.
to try
So,
that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes listen to ambient music. It can
Yeah.
sometimes
yeah,
just
yeah,
help you focus sometimes.
yeah.
Okay, so that's the code. Is it called a coding playlist or
Yeah.
coders playlist?
No, it's
or
a coding programmer playlist.
coding programmer playlist.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so I'll add a link to that.
Yeah.
The next one is one tune, one book. Did I say no? Sorry, one podcast. Do you listen to podcasts much?
I don't listen to podcasts, but I listen to audio of movie summaries
Right.
on YouTube.
Is there a particular channel that does this well, or anywhere?
Basically, what I do is I see the thumbnail or the headline. If it's something interesting, and YouTube usually recommends you based on what you see,
Right,
so
okay.
I just keep listening to those. There's not any specific ones.
And what they are is a kind of somebody's watched a film
Yes.
and tries to summarize it in half an hour of audio or,
Yeah.
or less. I
So
guess.
what they do is they click pictures of main scenes. Okay, so picture or like 1 or 2, 3 seconds of a few scenes.
Right.
Those keep playing, and they explain the whole movie, like exactly how it happened. This person says this is what, and everything, and it's not in that detail, but like it tells you the overall story, and if it's something interesting,
You might go and watch the film, I guess.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
And are any of these AI generated, or are they human generated, or is it difficult to know?
I mean, I was watching it before ChatGPT, so it should not be AI generated, but I think
guess
now it
there
would
probably
be.
are some AI generated
Yeah.
ones. I don't know if they're any good, but
Yeah.
okay, good. So that's the podcast, and then the last two are a book and a film. So what book would you recommend?
Harry Potter,
Harry Potter. Any
Yes.
particular one?
Philosopher's Stone.
Philosopher's
I don't
Stone,
like.
Is that the first one?
I only read that one, so that's
Right.
why.
Philosopher's Stone. You've watched the film as well.
I watch them every holiday. My task is to finish all the movies again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So
Fair.
Philosopher's Stone's good, and the last one is a film. So what film would you recommend?
I would say The Internship.
The Internship.
So it's about two people who were salesperson, I think, and then they are fired from their current job, and although the start is a bit dodgy, like they tend to lie on their CV and get into an interview,
which we don't recommend. But
yes,
they do get this job on the basis of lying on their
yeah.
CV, and it's kind of it's sort of googly, isn't it? They don't
yes.
actually mention. I think it looks like Google, doesn't it?
Yes,
because they use that funny logo, don't they?
Yeah. It's like they say that it's an internship in Google, and they talk a lot about googliness in
right,
that.
Okay, right.
And I mean, I liked it because how they started learning, like what they did was like they got into like all other misfits in the program.
Right.
They all got grouped together, like they were left with them, and then they started communicating to others and started learning and having sessions like here we have conferences, etc.
Right.
So they went to that, learned HTML, CSS, etc. and they use their sales experience as well to pitch the solution to a local pizza shop, and then like they added them to the Google Maps or something like that, and this way and what all they learned from like asking others in the company, so that I really liked.
I should have to watch this. It's been on my list of films I've wanted to watch for a long time. I should have to go away and watch that now. I think I've seen a little clip of it somewhere. But that's the internship. So one book, one tune, one film. So the last one is Time Traveller. I want to imagine we've got one of my colleagues in the physics department has lent us their time machine and assures me that it works. You can travel back in time to meet yourself arriving here from India in 2021. What would you tell yourself?
I think I would say first to know about what apprenticeships are. I would have applied through that and joined a university in whichever program.
Right. So the whole concept of what so apprenticeship is slightly different, but internship is similar in that it's a period of work while you're
basically like if you are working 5 days a week in a full time, it's like half time you are working for the company and half time you are studying at the university. And I think from Netcraft that opportunity was there. Someone, I don't remember, in first year I remember someone was working as an apprenticeship. And that concept I haven't heard in India. I didn't knew about it. I think only one or two, because I was searching for my cousin last year about apprenticeships in India, but I only found Google and one more.
Yeah, so these things in the UK we have these things called University of Manchester doesn't offer them, but they're things called degree apprenticeships. So you study and you work at the same time and you get paid. You don't pay tuition fees, you get a degree and you've been working at the same time, which is a good thing to do. The nearest equivalent we've got to that is what you've done, and what is to do some summer internships along the way and or a placement year.
And
which is similar, but rather than being part-time, they tend to be full-time. So you do a full-time study, full-time work, full-time study again. 3
or 2 days or something like that.
Although in a way, what you've been doing with Imago is kind of more apprenticeship style, because it's part-time, so you're doing it while you study.
But it's much more less, like it's just 10 or 8 hours. And
whereas a degree apprenticeship, you'd be doing that for 3-4 years.
And another thing I would say is know about Inside Weeks, because my the past session in which my past leaders told me about the Inside Weeks, it was much towards the end, so I only got to apply in 2 of those. But when I got into those Inside Weeks, I saw people have done 6-7 Inside Weeks, like from all the big companies.
And I think, is it fair to say it's easier to get on them than it is to get a summer internship or a placement? It's relatively easy to get onto an Insight day, whether virtual or actual. Because you just done one at JP Morgan, haven't you? Can you say a little bit about that? Or you done was it an Insight or was it?
So in Nomura and Amazon I have done Inside Week, but in JP Morgan, which I did this year, it's insight into software engineering. So they just tell you about what software engineering, how it's done in their company, and what all application process is like. It's kind of like that only.
And you learned, that's the thing you mentioned, you learned a bit about Kafka and stuff along the way, which is kind of useful.
I mean, it was there's a online company called Forage. In that, there's a free module of JP Morgan, where they teach you and how basically they give you a problem. There's a video. They tell you this is the work you are working on, and this is the task, and this problem has arisen. Now you have to work on this, and you have to integrate Kafka and then REST API as well, and like there were 5-6 tasks.
Is this something you do completely virtually? So is it like an online course, or is it with Forage? Is it something you do where actually you meet with people virtually along the way?
It's completely virtual.
It's completely virtual.
So insight into software engineering of JP Morgan, it's completely virtual. It's a virtual software engineering experience.
Right. But it's carefully curated and put together. It's not just kind of... Because there are some of these things where it's just kind of banged together.
Yeah, no, it's
not very well.
better,
but this is kind of a proper program.
Yeah, but one thing I think which it lacked was like if there was someone I could ask doubts about. I know now ChatGPT and everything is there, but I wanted to talk to them like, okay, I'm having this bug issue, and usually you ask your colleagues. So if there's some kind of teaching TA or something like that in some specific hours, that could have much more be useful.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So that's Time Traveller. So is there anything else you tell your former self other than the Insight Weeks, apprenticeships, internships?
I would say I did, like in second year, I did 5 societies. I would say don't do that. Just like I was in 5 society committees, and I was
what, Unix,
UNICS, GDSC, MathSoc, Hackchester,
Hackchester.
And 5th one was MUDS, data science.
Manchester University Data
Science.
Golly, that's a lot.
Yes, and I was also doing student rep. I was also doing past leader, and I also did peer buddy scheme, and 29 hours of volunteering also I finished in that.
Okay. Wow. So have you done Stellify as well?
I think like I did 2-3 like I have finished Stellify. They couldn't confirm this year's challenge which I did. They said they will only get to know after June, but I finished everything and I should get Stellify. I mean,
it's good to fantastic. You've done all those things, I guess, but you'd say maybe do a little bit out, or do more
spread
or
it
less,
out.
right?
Spread it out.
Right. And not do it all in one year. So you did it all in your second.
And it was the most hectic year as well.
Yeah, the worst. Yes. Probably the heaviest load in terms of
the thing is,
work.
Third year is equivalent to that, but based on your subject choice and your project, it becomes easier for you. Yeah. But second year, it's like first year is relaxing, and then you
suddenly go up a step. Yeah. It's like, okay, good. All right. So I think we're done. So unless there's anything else you want to say, anything like that?
No, I think thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. So thanks for. Oh, we didn't talk about what you're doing next. So what have you got planned? I mean, your parents are here. You're graduating next month.
Yes.
What are your plans beyond that?
So currently I'm interviewing. I have an interview on 26. I have to go to Cambridge, and I'm currently looking for jobs here only, and I will apply for graduate visa, but I will apply in September, October, because what will happen is I will have for 2 years till October.
So for people that don't know, graduate visa is, how much does it cost?
£3,000.
And that means that you can work here
for 2 years.
For 3 years.
2 years.
Oh, 2 years.
Yeah.
And you may or may not need that depending on if you get a job where somebody sponsors a skilled worker visa, which is what I guess would be your preferred choice.
Exactly, but
you'll do that, but you're looking at doing either of one of those two at the moment.
But currently the thing is, since big financial institutions etc. have stopped sponsoring visa, like banking institutions. So what happened is, other companies like mid-size and small companies, they're saying, since I already have 2 years visa, so what they do is, okay, you work on the 2-year visa so that they don't have to get a skilled worker visa. And if I choose to work there after 2 years as well, then they sponsor.
Okay.
So now
that's quite a good compromise then, right?
Because
sometimes companies say, well, if you're not going to work for us for more than 2 years, then we're not interested, which is interesting way to do it, but some people do it that way.
Yeah, but I would say in terms of, but some companies also do think of it as is if you are on a graduate visa, then they would have to pay after 2 years for your sponsor visa, so that they think as a cost. And
I guess big companies are more likely to be able to afford that than smaller companies might struggle to.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the numbers are, but I'm guessing it probably costs quite a lot of money to do for them.
Yes.
And also then there's expertise. You need a massive HR department, people
True.
who are expert at this kind of stuff. Okay, good. So, congratulations on finishing your degree.
Thank you.
We look forward to celebrating with your parents and graduation next month.
9th of July.
9th of July. It's not long away now, is it?
Yeah.
Just 2-3 weeks away. And good luck with what happens in the future.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, and I hope everyone listens to it. So I will share it later on.
Great, thank you. Thank you for listening to Hearing Your Future, the Coding Your Future podcast. You can find out more about this episode and all the other episodes, including transcripts and show notes, at cdyf.me. That's Charlie Delta Yankee Foxtrot .Mike Echo. You can also find us on all the major podcast platforms by searching for Coding Your Future. Subscribe and listen wherever you get your podcasts. I hope you found something useful to help you start coding your future today.